All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about a little bit of Destiny drama that happened over on the Bird app, Twitter. As usual, every day on there is literally a drama episode. I swear, it's like a never-ending series here on this YouTube channel covering all of the drama. Now, this one started when a Bungie dev and one of the sandbox designs tweeted out saying this right here: "Why don't game devs talk to us?" Proceeds to clip every time they come out to talk to use as memes or perpetuate toxicity. I don't know, dude. It's clearly a mystery. So clearly, this Bungie dev not very happy about all of the memes and the toxicity that gets thrown around after they do come out and talk to us. Now, the exact specific thing he's referencing here, he's being a little vague, but what he's referencing here is probably the skill shot grenade launcher meme that's come out and a variety of other things. I mean, there's people definitely get really toxic on Twitter. I mean, you see the replies on there; they're nasty. It's kind of gross on there. But largely, it's the skill shot thing, right? He said in a podcast that grenade launchers are a skill shot weapon, and a lot of people tend to disagree. Now, there is some skill to using grenade launchers. Obviously, the trajectory, the travel speed, understanding things like that. But overall, I'm a veteran Call of Duty player, and we used to call them noob tubes back in Call of Duty, and that culture has perpetuated amongst people that really love PvP. That grenade launchers are a newbie thing to use, and I do agree that they're not nearly as skillful as other weapons in the game, but they're also, I mean, it's Destiny, you know what I'm saying? It's just Destiny, and there's really not a whole lot of skillful things in Destiny, to be completely honest. So this was his main point, and he was very unhappy about the toxicity. But this is a really big conversation that we need to have on this channel here and within the comments, is that just because this happens doesn't mean that Bungie should stop speaking to the community. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bungie needs to continue to speak to the community. And yeah, there are going to be people that are extremely vocal and harass them and such, but that shouldn't make them be quiet, right? They need to continue to talk to us, because I really enjoyed that podcast and I enjoyed learning a lot of behind the curtains from Bungie's perspective. Another content creator, Hush here, actually responds saying, "I would like to see more open conversations on Twitter from the devs to the community. Not just we'll pass this feedback along. Like, talk to us, have a chat. We all love the same game," which is a really good point. I strongly agree with Hush's point here, and that's why I wanted to bring this up within this video. DMG community manager actually responds to this saying, "Why don't game devs talk to us on Twitter?" Proceeds to reply to every single one of their tweets with insults, hyperbolic statements about the game dying, and more. Not saying you do this. Twitter is a horrible place to have real conversations about nearly anything, which is definitely true. Twitter is just a terrible place to have conversations, but it tends to be the most open, it tends to be the place that we, congregate, where we have conversations about things. So it definitely is frustrating seeing so many different Bungie devs choose to just ignore these big topics when they come up. The one Bungie dev, DMG here, love him or hate him, whether you do or not, he tends to throw himself in the fire every time something big comes up, though. So I applaud him in his efforts to try and be like the voice of the entirety of the company Bungie, entirely by himself, because he's the community manager, but he literally does everything. He responds to every situation. He even responds to this situation. This had nothing to do with him. This was from a different Bungie dev, and he throws himself into the fire once again, because that's just the type of guy he is, and he seems to be a really good representation of the way Bungie should be. You know what I'm saying? All the Bungie devs should be a little more vocal and a little more like the way DMG is. Like I said, love him or hate him, I agree with the way he approaches Twitter and how he handles things. He responds to that, then saying, "The 3-hour interview with Firing Range was a great convo. Point in the initial tweet is that even with a meaty conversation, people still latch onto a single statement and proceed to meme/throw insults. We'll continue to push for transparency. It just sucks when this happens. Definitely sucks to see this happen. Anytime Bungie talks about anything, that just gets memed and gets, the harassment just goes on continuously. But that's just going to happen. Whether you do anything on the internet at all, people just send you harassment. Everything I do gets harassment. Every YouTube video, every Twitch stream I do, every, post I put on TikTok, Twitter, it doesn't matter. Everything gets harassment. That's just what it's like being in the public eye. And when you run a company or a part of a company that has millions of followers and, hundreds of thousands of concurrent players daily, you're definitely going to get thrown tons of insults as soon as you start to talk about it. But instead of letting those insults, make you shy away from it, you should literally just go at it twice as hard and just continue to fire back. I really think you'll get a lot more respect from myself and from a lot of people in the community if you do so. I love seeing the Bungie devs actually, fight the battles and actually get in there and talk about the hard topics to talk about. I think it's really cool, and we often get to peek behind the curtains and get to see a different perspective. So next part I'll cover all along the story is a content creator post this saying, I think the main issue now is that grenade launchers are currently running rampant through the Crucible, and almost no acknowledgement of this has been made. Therefore, people now latch onto the miscommunication in a spiteful manner every time they die to a grenade launcher in PvP, which is largely true, right? We had the grenade launchers, they were referenced as skill shot weapons, and now time is going on. We've got a bunch of nerfs to other things, so we're seeing grenade launchers become much more prevalent. And even if they're not in the top 10 charts for kinetic or energy weapons, grenade launchers often aren't extremely lethal, so you weaken people with them and then finish them off with another weapon, etc. And just the grenade launchers being extremely potent in the sandbox is just a frustrating element to people that like to play competitive or high level PvP. It always has been. Whether you agree with that or not, whether you think that's lame or not, it's okay. I respect your opinion if you think that grenade launchers are fine in the current sandbox and they're fine being really strong. It's just, the culture of PvP has come from, Call of Duty and noob tubes and everything. So that's just why people feel that way. It's been a long ongoing battle fighting against grenade launchers in PvP in general. The last message I'll cover on this comes from the original Bungie Dev that tweeted out this saying, I know it's hard because lack of visuals can transpire into lack of faith, but please, please, please understand, and I meant to say visibility, please, please, please understand that each of the sandbox area leads are super in tune with the requests. It just takes time to execute on these things, sometimes much, much, much longer than we hope internally. So keep that in mind. The Bungie devs, they are listening, they're paying attention to these things. It's not like they're just completely ignoring them. It's just they have their vision that they're trying to work out, and they're trying to balance a sandbox for players that brand new players are going to like and veteran players are going to like, and everyone in the middle. And it's very, very hard to make everyone happy. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, being a game developer, it's almost like running a government entirely of itself. It's like, how do you make all of the people happy, right? It's impossible to make them all happy. You got to give the people, the less skilled players something that interests them, like I look at something like shoulder charge in Destiny 2. I'm like, I'm very happy that shoulder charge is in the game because people that are less skilled, they love that ability. I see it all the time. You see Titans running around like crazy trying to shoulder charge me, and I laugh. Every now and again they get me, but if that makes their day and if that allows them to enjoy PvP, I'm happy that shoulder charge exists for PvP. However, I myself don't use it, and it'll be frustrating if I get killed by it from time to time, but overall, I don't get killed by shoulder charge enough. I've played the game enough. I have good enough movement and awareness that I don't get killed by it. But you get what I'm saying? Like, there's a balance there where it's like new players and, less skilled players enjoy that ability. Shoulder charge, maybe even grenade launchers you could put in a comparable sentence. And then the higher skilled players, they can learn to adapt and adjust to those abilities and hopefully still, give some merit to them that by having those abilities in the game, it allows this game to have a plethora of players instead of it just being a sweaty, toxic game filled with just tryhards at all times. We have, a healthy player base of people, which I think is good. And I think we can all agree we definitely need. We need a big player base when we play Destiny. We're not trying to turn this into some esport game where, every weekend there's only 1,000 players playing Trials, right? We want a lot of people to play Trials. We need that healthy player base. So definitely, if you are responding to Bungie devs on Twitter, I know it's easy to be anonymous. You probably with your anime profile pics and such. But it's better if you don't be extremely toxic Bungie devs. You're not helping the situation. Obviously, they don't like it quite a bit. But even still, there's nothing I can say in this video to stop all of the trolls, right? So if you are a Bungie dev watching this, and hopefully Bungie continues to push towards being more transparent because it will earn the respect of people. Like I said before, I think a lot of people, whether you love or hate DMG, I think a lot of people have a lot of respect for him because he actually throws himself literally into the lion's den on a daily basis. Like, he just throws himself into the hardest topics and the hardest discussions every day. He doesn't seem to shy away from much. So I have respect for him for doing that, and I like that. And I really hope that Bungie, the other Bungie devs, follow suit and try to get a little more involved in the conversations, And I get it, you could be busy, working, developing, you have other things going on, but it doesn't take too long to just open up Twitter and respond to a couple things every night, and you would do a world of difference in terms of transparency. So that's a wrap for this video, though. Make sure to subscribe with notifications if you want to stay up to date on all the news in Destiny 2. Smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.